Hello, this is Frustrated Jacob, and today we'll be taking a quick look at EA's Mirror's Edge. Just a quick look, this is not a full playthrough, this is part of a little sub-series here on the Research Runs YouTube channel called Research Rambles. Typically on this channel, we're going to, fully play through whatever game we're looking at, beginning to end, typically with a lot of extra stuff in the middle, but with this little sub-series, it's just quick looks at games with no notes prepped beforehand, or really any expectation of that really high level of analysis that we would do in some of our other playthroughs. Here, we're just kind of taking spotty little looks at either the beginnings of games or particular parts of games that I want to examine for whatever reason. Doing a research ramble doesn't necessarily rule it out for getting a full playthrough later on, but typically we're doing it specifically because it's a game that I want to talk about, but that I don't really want to do a full playthrough of for whatever reason. So for those who are not familiar, Mirror's Edge is a game about parkour, or free running, about first-person platforming and stunts and wall running and all that sort of thing. It does have a story, as that word says there, but it's not a story that's particularly compelling or that anybody should really care about. I'm typically the first advocate of give whatever story a chance. I know some people who are like, just hate story in games and feel like it gets in the way and they just want to focus on the gameplay. I'm usually the first person who would be willing to give something like that a chance, but the story of this game is fine. It's nothing special. It moves you along from level to level. It's not really anything all that special. So, with that in mind, I want to go ahead and give a warning that there will be some spoilers in this video because I'm going to be skipping around to some later levels in the game that I want to get some footage of and show really quickly and play through. I will be skipping all of the cutscenes, but all the same, there will still be like radio chatter and stuff going on in the background. So, if you really care about the story of Mirror's Edge, which you shouldn't really because it's not that great and there's something all that special going on, you may not want to watch some parts of this video. Initially, at least, I'm just going to play the beginning of the game, and here I guess I won't bother to skip cutscenes, so you can see what it all looks like if you want to. Though once I start skipping around and through different missions, I'm going to start skipping the cutscenes, and I'm also going to do a couple of time trials later. Now, this is one thing that this game got slammed for at the time. I assume this was a cost-saving measure at the time, because this was a kind of risky, high-budget game for EA, because EA did this. DICE, the guys who normally make Battlefield, made this, and it's a pretty game, but clearly they were concerned about it not selling well, because it's pretty short. It's about, you can beat it in like 6-7 hours on your first go-through if you want to, and that's before you really learn how to play it properly. So all of the cutscenes have this, people said that it looks like the old Esurance commercials, not old, the Esurance commercials from around the time that this game came out in, like, what, 2010 or so? I don't know exactly when it came out. I didn't play this until a couple of years ago. Though, of course, I'd heard about it and seen videos of it and stuff, because I tend to keep up with just about everything that's going on in the game industry, if at all possible. Even if I don't play it, we live in an age when you can, watch stuff on the internet and learn about it, read reviews, all kinds of other wonderful methods of keeping up with these sorts of things.
The flow is what keeps us running, keeps us alive.
Training time, Faith. Yeah, I know you hate it, but that fall took you out of commission for a while. And now you're back, you gotta keep sharp, especially in this city. Check out these new training grounds, pretty slick, huh? Celeste's on runaround duty, so get to her and just go with the flow, okay?
Yeah, so this is a first-person platforming game with very kind of stripped-down controls to make things really simple. I say not stripped down. It makes sense, but the point is that L1, as we just saw, is the up action button, and up action is gonna designate about, barbed wire, is gonna control about 70% of the things that we do in this game. But that's a conversation for another time, perhaps. I actually played this game for the first time, was it 2015 or 16? I don't remember. But I wanted to I kind of used it as a challenge to myself because I got it for free when EA made it. Oh, yeah, that's nice. EA made this game available for free during one of its E3 presentations. Like for 3 days, they had a PS4 game, a PS3 game, and a Vita game available for free. And I don't own a Vita. The PS4 game I didn't care about, and so I got this, but I didn't play it for ages. but I decided to use it kind of as a challenge to myself. I had watched the game online before, but I hadn't played it, and I thought perhaps, yeah, I'm not gonna go that way. Oh, come on, really? Whatever you say. Forgot, I'm in tutorial land right now. It wants me to do it exactly the way that it wants me to do it. Yeah, for those who have not seen this game before, this is pretty aggressive because of the tutorial sequence, but, oh, it wants me to vault, my bad. Not slide under it. This game uses red as a directional tool to kind of show you where you need to go at given times, and this is the tutorial, so it's really aggressive with it. Later on in the game, it's going to be much less constant, I guess you would say, where every single obstacle we've come up to, it's had us do that on. Oh, I love this kind of stuff. This is everybody's favorite activities in video games, right? I didn't do that the way that it wanted me to, but it didn't fail me that time. That's nice. Appreciate it. I should say right now that you're not going to see masterclass gameplay in this. I've played this game a couple of times, so I'm not in any way going to brag about my my level of skill at this game. I am solidly, slightly below average at this game. So don't expect to see professional gameplay. Is all I'm saying. Where am I going? Where did she go? Oh, okay, right, of course. See, I see barbed wire, and I immediately go, that's not the way I'm supposed to go. But you've got to just kind of shimmy your way around here. Game wants you to move slow, because you don't know what you're doing yet, it thinks. I know what I'm doing. It just doesn't know that I know what I'm doing. Uh-huh. Yep. There she goes. Yep. So what it wants us to do here is that you can wall run by pressing L1 when you're going along the side of something like that, and then R1 typically makes you spin around 180 degrees like that. However, if you're on a ledge like this, it just turns you 90 degrees. So if we run along here, we can press that and turn ourselves that direction to immediately, oh, hold on. To immediately turn ourselves towards the ledge we need to jump towards there. Anyway, yeah, if you're watching these tutorial prompts, you'll notice that L1 is making me do about, like I said, like half the things that I'm doing right now. But anyway, yeah, I got this game and didn't play it for a while, and I decided on, like, spring break or something like that. I remember I had a week of mostly free time, and it was probably spring break, but I haven't gone back and actually checked the dates that I did this on. I decided I want to try and challenge myself by playing through an entire game, getting some footage, writing a video, and editing it and releasing it. And I picked this because I knew that it was short, and I already kind of knew about it a little bit, because I'd watched it before. But it was not to be, because I could not get that amount of work done that quickly. I got about half the footage that I needed and half of a script done, and that wasn't good enough. Skill roll, not just any roll, a skill roll. Oh crud, my bad. I thought I had to pull my legs up there, but you had to grab onto the ladder, my bad. And they're gonna give me a combat tutorial now. So anyway, so I had about... Yeah, I had basically a rough draft of a script done for this that I just didn't like, and then I ran out of time. Went back to it recently to try and just, you know, get something, because I figured, you know, I'm trying to make, like, it's more in the vein of the type of thing that I did for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It's the type of videos that I've talked about I wanted to make for a while that I just haven't gotten around to making. This was going to be kind of the first one of that type, just a shorter, simpler one. Yep. I should mention right now, this game does have guns, but you do not want to use them. Number one, they don't have a lot of ammunition. What? Oh, you're not allowed to... Okay, whatever. You have to drop it right away? Sure. This entire game is designed to be played without ever using the guns. You're really supposed to avoid combat if you can. Did not do that right. Yep. Hold on. How do you do the slow-mo? Is it... There we go. Now it's slow-mo. Alright, here we go. Woof. Sure was something. Yeah, so you're not supposed to use the guns in this game. They honestly, the guns make several sequences of the game easy mode. So you, like, it's honestly makes the game a bit too easy to play it like that anyway, and it's not what... It's out of character for Faith, your player character here, and for just kind of the story to be shooting cops.
Okay, that's enough training, ladies. Gotta get to the real thing. Drake's got a job for yourself, so check in with him. Faith, let me know when you're ready to get going.
See you later, Faith.
Adios, Celeste. Anyway, so I kind of finally, I'll stay here for a half a second. So I kind of returned to that script more recently and decided to tighten it up and maybe make a video out of it. And who knows, by the time that this is out, maybe I've already made that Mirror's Edge video. I have no idea. Because I can't see the future. I don't know what's going on yet. But I needed to get some, okay, I screwed that up. Needed to get some footage, some more footage for it anyway, so here we are. We're going to specifically get some footage of some of the later levels, and I figured instead of just loading up the game and sitting there and silently recording the footage for one video, I could crank out another video while I was at it. And we can actually talk about Mirror's Edge a little bit, just kind of play through it a bit. And I missed that jump horribly. First death of many, I'm sure. Again? Sure, why not? Let's get that lined up a bit better. You don't have to jump onto it in case anybody's wondering. I'm just trying to save myself a bit of time. Here's the significantly faster way to get up to where we were with Celeste a minute ago. No big secret or anything. It's actually kind of required that you do this in one of the time trials. Should not be going over here. I'm going to get myself creamed. Yep. I was like, I've never actually ridden the zipline all the way over there. What's over there? I was like, nothing. That's great. It's good to know. But yeah, so going to play a bit of this just to get some more footage. I have all of the footage of this level and the first couple of levels. I recorded about half the game because I kind of went back after I did my first playthrough to get more footage. But I didn't finish the entire thing because I ran out of time. So now here we are, we're going to get a bit more. Really don't need to be playing this to get footage, but I figured it'd be a good thing to show a bit of the beginning of the game for anybody who's not familiar with it and might want to get a look at it. I would also say, since soon we're going to be getting into spoiler territory, I'm going to play the first level without editing anything out, so you're not really going to have any, spoilers per se. But before we get to that level, I will go ahead and say, great, what am I doing? Gotta hit R1 before you hit jump, Jacob. Anybody who is interested in this game, I think I would recommend it because honestly, I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's a pretty challenging game. If you're it really comes down to what type of person you are. If you're the type of person who really loves replaying levels over and over again, replaying bits of levels, trying to get it just perfect, to shave seconds off of your time, it's that kind of game. Because the actual levels themselves will last you all of 6 or 7 hours if you're good at them. Which, I mean, even if you're not that great at them, you should be able to make it through them at a decent pace, because it's not that long of a game. You can get it for pretty cheap now, but even then, I'm not sure that this game is worth having on your shelf, if just for that 6-hour campaign. Come on, Faith! Sometimes she just decides she doesn't want to do it. There we go. That was nice. Okay, that's also one of the problems with this game, is sometimes it's really, really precise and finicky on what exactly it wants you to do, and you can't get it to, register certain things. Wait, that's not right at all. I don't want to do that. This is for this one, except I missed it. I'm supposed to land on that, but I missed it. Anyway. I would recommend it if you're the type of person who loves replaying levels over and over and over again to get that perfect time. But if you're more the type of person to play a game once and leave it, you might not want to go after this, because it's not a great single-player campaign, just one and done experience. Much more of a spend time in it. That view challenges prompt has been taunting us the entire time. It's more like the type of doing this kind of stuff, learning how to do all of these. Well, I mean, this is all the stuff we just did with Celeste, but I mean, like, just doing all kinds of neat tricks and being able to complete the levels at a high speed. That's the kind of stuff that you play this game for. I'm sure most people know that, but if you're totally unfamiliar with it, now I've briefed you a little bit. And in just a moment here, I'm going to just go ahead and continue to the next level here. I do like how slick and clean the menus are. That's one thing, just in general, this game has really clean and solid color direction. But the menus, while cut down and nothing all that special, do also look pretty nice, which I appreciate. Pretty fast, pretty punchy in terms of, making inputs, flipping through them. Alright, back to gameplay.
Yeah, I'm sure the birds are real impressed, mate. But once you finish showing off, I think you might concentrate on some
Oops,
actual
should have
work.
rolled. My bad.
Get Celeste in position for a handoff. You need to get the delivery to her. She'll be near the communications tower ahead of you.
Alrighty. So this is the first actual level of the game, which is still going to be pretty simple stuff, but for those who are not paying attention during the opening cutscene, especially since I was talking over it, which I apologize for, but I just wanted, it was a good time to talk since I didn't have to worry about, you know, falling off of skyscrapers or anything. And again, this game's story is nothing all that special that you really need to pay a ton of attention to. Basically, we are our career in a...
You're taking your sweet old time. Celeste's getting pissed. She's almost at the comms tower and you ain't. Get moving and give her the
We're a
bag.
courier in a city where all communication is strictly monitored and controlled by the government. And I forgot that those poles were there, so I aimed a little bit too far to the right. I'm glad I still caught that. That was almost a death. Anyway. I should note, because I'm kind of playing just as I already know what I'm doing. You don't have to jump and kick the door, which I know I've done a couple of times. It's really just a way to get through them slightly faster than just, you know, pushing them open. This little icon here means that there's a collectible somewhere in the near vicinity, which I'm sure I already got. It's probably just like right here. That's, you know, early game. Probably not going to be a super complicated one. But you may see me do a couple other things like kicking that door where, like, for example, it takes a little while for Faith to get up to maximum momentum. She kind of has to speed up a little bit. But you have this ability where you can kind of jump to the side really quickly. Oops, my bad. And if you use that and turn the camera in the direction you've just jumped to, then you can kind of max her acceleration immediately. So, for example, and you're kind of up to instant max running speed when you do it like that.
Get the hell out of there.
Go, go, go!
Fires are going crazy. Get out of there.
There's another collectible there that I ignored. I could go back and get it, though, I suppose. Let's go back and get it. Why not, right? Oh, look, there it is. I got it now.
Faith's on her way. Get your ass ready.
Shabooms! Oh no, I'm gonna die. Oh no. That wasn't a good move on my part. There you go, that's how combat works in this game. I suppose that was a good thing to show.
Hey, drop the bag and put your hands so we can see them, or we will...
That's how fighting in this game works. You get up against one guy, you might be able to take him out. Up against 4 guys that are all clustered up like that, you're basically guaranteed dead. I'm gonna go ahead and get this though, or did I already get it? Oh sweet, it saved it for me. Thank you very much. I didn't know it did that. I figured if you died, you had to get it again. But whatever.
Faith's on her way. Get your ass ready to move.
Come on, boys. Chase me this way. I don't think you can follow me over here, can you? So you can see what I mean, where the red kind of directional highlight becomes a lot less aggressive after you get out of the tutorial. And in fact, in some later levels, people would argue that it's not as present as it should be.
Blue's ahead. You're gonna have to get through him.
Okay, that wasn't what I meant to do. Put in a few too many inputs there, it looks like.
You ready, Sel?
Yep, I can see Faith now.
Didn't quite land that there. Didn't get quite enough speed, but that's fine. It's kind of a difficult move to do on console. When you have a mouse and keyboard on PC and you can flick the camera around really fast, then that's pretty easy to do, apparently. But on console, a bit more difficult to do. I suppose I could up my sensitivity a lot, maybe it would be a bit easier, but I'm not going to mess with that in the middle of a recording.
I'll be fine. Shit, get out of here!
Yeah, I'm on my way. Oh, crud, I didn't even need to do that. There's a door right there. My bad, everybody. I thought I was going to jump that fence all fancy-like.
Don't care how you do it. Just do it.
Yep, I know how I'm doing it, though. Okay, I thought I actually didn't grab that for a second. I was very confused. That level's pretty short and simple, nothing all that special. Just kind of putting you through the basics a bit more after that tutorial level.
Why the hell were they shooting? What did you do, Faith?
Nothing. They just opened fire.
Don't know what the hell's happening. I'll ask around. Get your ass back to base, Faith.
So again, if you weren't paying attention during the opening cutscenes, even though communication in the city is controlled and we're running messages outside of the system, typically the law enforcement doesn't bother us parkour masters all that much. They mostly just kind of let us do whatever we want because we're a minor problem. So getting suddenly shot at for no reason is a bit out of the ordinary, apparently. And here we have a more insurance commercial. There's even a car right there. It is an insurance commercial.
Officer Connors.
Going to see Pope. Robert Pope. Taking a statement on that break-in last week? Yeah, anyways, it's 56 West Arlen Drive. Tell Lieutenant Miller.
Copy that. I'll relay the message, Officer Connors.
Thanks. Connors out.
Hello, sis.
You there, kiddo?
Hey, Mark.
I bet you're listening to the chatter.
You know me.
We'll try and get some sleep. It's been a rough day. Gonna put the word out tomorrow. See why those blues got itchy trigger fingers. I'll drop by later, okay? And don't chuck that pizza. I like the toppings.
Matured. Yeah, I know. See you, Mark.
Shots fired. Repeat, shots fired. All units proceed to 56 West Arlen Drive immediately. Proceed with caution.
Kate! Where are you? Kate, where are you?
Hey,
Mark,
you off?
just get on comms and track me.
Alrighty, so this is the last level I'll be playing, just kind of straight in order. After this, I'm going to be skipping around, and then again, while I will be skipping cutscenes, there will be, inevitable spoilers, so, feel free to watch this because you're still in order, and then if you're interested in the game, you can just stop watching the rest of this. I guess I'll do some time trials first, because I need to get footage of that too, and then I'll go and do some of the later levels. So if you're concerned about spoilers and whatnot, then you'll be able to avoid all of that. Oh, jeez. So one thing this game does, whenever there's an electric fence around, to make sure that you notice it, they usually, not whenever, but usually, they'll have a little rat around to run into it to make sure don't touch that. Okay, thought I didn't make that for a second. I hit jump to grab the ledge, but I actually made it cleanly.
West Arlen, Pope's place. I guess that's where you're headed, but be careful. I'll tell him what's going on there.
Okay. So another thing that should be noted about this is that sometimes the roll just doesn't feel cooperative. You kind of just have to double tap the down action button, which in this case is R2, which those who are familiar, I think this may be a PlayStation 3 controller problem, because for those who are not aware, the R2 and L2 buttons on PlayStation 3 are kind of just a bit bizarre. They're kind of marshmallowy, and I appreciate that they're not full digital, where it's just like, there's actually some pressure that can be applied. It's good for things like racing games and stuff like that, where you kind of push it in slightly instead of just having a binary on and off function, but they're just kind of mushy and not fantastic for making precise inputs sometimes. Oh yeah, also they have these little news crawls in the elevators that are always here to hide loading screens. They're just there for quick exposition and whatnot if you ever have time to stop and read them. Usually you're in between getting shot at, so it's kind of not a great place to just stick exposition. Anyway, but yeah, so the roll requires you to kind of double tap R2 as you land, and if you don't nail it, then she just breaks her legs, and it's not the easiest input to land.
Should I?
It's Robert. Robert Pope, friend of Dad's.
Shit, that Pope.
He called me. We hadn't talked much since I joined up. He had a break-in last week. He's still a campaigner. Don't you read the news?
It's not news anymore. It's advertising.
He was running for mayor.
And that's about the most exposition we ever get about why this place is bad and why the government here is bad. Part of why the story's a bit flimsy is they never really explain why the bad guys are bad.
Really? I haven't seen him for at least 10 years.
Anyway, he was alive when I got here. Just sitting at his desk, writing.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm pro-surveillance state, because that's the one thing that's clearly established about them, is that this is a heavy surveillance state, but it's just, like, not really enough. There's not clear stakes really driving you through the story.
Left my radio in the car. Haven't had time to phone it in.
Come on, come with me. I'll take you somewhere safe.
This isn't the time to run. I'm not like you. Running will just make me look guilty.
You think this was an accident, Kate? There are no accidents in this city. Someone wanted him dead and wanted you to take the fall.
Help me, Effie, please. You've got contacts. There's gotta be more to this. Something he knew. Something he wanted to tell me.
I can't get involved in this, Kate. You know what I do. I just
Great.
can't.
Blue's incoming, Faith. You might want to be outgoing right about, now.
I'll see what I can do.
If this goes down badly, find Lieutenant Miller, my superior. Take anything you find to him.
I'm serious, Faith. Remember, they're not playing nice. Get out of there.
Now go! And Faith, thank you.
So this game kind of immediately goes from being about being a courier in a surveillance state city to playing detective with this guy's murder. I don't know, it's just kind of a bizarre turn. It's, again, I'm in no way gonna argue that this game's story is bad. Like, it's just bad, but it's just kind of underwritten and not fully developed. Doesn't really go anywhere super interesting, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I wish that it would have been better. I'm not in any way going like, it's just dumb and shouldn't care about it. But it's just nothing fantastic. It's one of the things that this game did not get great reviews. I honestly think that it should. I think that if it come out, again I messed that up. I think that if this had come out like today, probably would have gotten a lot better reviews for itself. Because there's much more of an atmosphere of, you know, being positive towards indies, being positive towards fresh and exciting new ideas, even if they aren't actually all that good. I think this would have reviewed much better at the time. Now than it did at the time that it came out. There we go, I actually got that one that time. That jump is always weird because sometimes it wants you to roll and sometimes it doesn't, just depending on where you jump from, so I typically roll just to be safe. This level I've played a decent number of times. I actually put some effort in and I did pass like kind of the par built-in speed running time, which is 6 minutes, which is not that hard really. Some of the later levels are much more demanding on that front. Again, in no way claiming that I'm super good at this game. Missed it, darn. Shave off a few seconds if you don't land on that pad and instead land on the scaffolding next to it and roll to avoid the damage. But too late now, already messed it up. But you're watching, again, a guy who's played this level several times before, so I know where to go. So I'm sure some of you are wondering, how does he know where he's going if you've never watched this game before? It's part of the problem with this game's design, is that you don't always know exactly where to go. Now there was a good example where kind of the line of sight clearly funneled you towards that red platform, so you could see where to go. And here, you can't run towards those guys, so you gotta come this way. So there's certain times where the game does a really good job of cueing you where to go, and other times where you get really lost really easily as to where you're actually supposed to be in the level and where you're supposed to be heading. City Eye News for hourly news updates. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, you can breathe out. Damn,
I guess they decided not to stick exposition in this one.
Pope's gone. Shit, man, this damn city. So you know him, huh? Well, you sure opened a can of worms on this one. Take the bridge across the avenue and head for Centurion Plaza.
We have a breaking story here at City Eye Channel News. Attorney and mayoral candidate Robert Pope has been found dead at his offices on West Arlen. Reports confirm that Pope suffered a single fatal gunshot wound to the head.
Picking up squad cars moving in on you. You ain't got much time. Join us around you, Faith. Push through to the plaza. You're trying to cut you off the head, Faith. Get through him, quick. You gotta push through to the plaza, Faith. There's a route through the tunnels ahead.
Like I said, game generally does a good job of kind of giving you instructions like there. Obviously, don't go towards the squad car. Go in the other direction, which leads down here. But, you know, occasionally it's a little bit too, where am I supposed to go right now? What am I supposed to do? The game's really sharp and clear color direction, with, like, everything has pretty harsh edges on it. That can help a lot, because, it just makes doorways and ledges and all kinds of other stuff easier to spot than it would be in a more realistic, grimy city. I never played, gosh, what was that game? Dying Light, which was like a zombie game that apparently, I think it had similar kind of parkour mechanics to this, and along with, you know, the shooting and zombie killing and whatnot. And I wonder, I imagine that its parkour stuff wasn't nearly as robust as this game's, but I've got to imagine that those mechanics did not work as well in a setting like that, because it'd be harder to spot important elements of the, you know, level design that would help you get through it. Should have jumped onto that ladder, saved myself a little bit of time, but whatever, I'll be fine.
Hey, let's get you out of here.
I also like the idea of getting out of here, whatever your name is. Krieg, character who will never show up again after right now. There he is in the orange shirt.
You okay? Come on.
There's a lot of concept art for Faith's squad of runner friends that didn't really make it into the game, so I imagine some story content got cut, either because of outside meddling with we got to change up the story to make it more consumer friendly, or to have more excuse for there to be guns in it. I don't know. Or possibly even more realistically, probably just budget. Probably we need this game to be short because we can't overspend on this project. I don't know if this game lost money or not, but I wouldn't be shocked to find out that it did.
Nah, those blues can't move for shit. They've gotten a little gun happy, though.
Wires are fizzing about Pope's murder. Blue traffic is up. Way up. Don't know what's got into them. Must be contract renewal time. Be careful out there, Sal.
So why all the heat?
Our girl's been lifting evidence from a crime scene. Now every cop in the city seems to be after her.
That the evidence you lifted?
Yeah, I think it's from a diary. Rest of it was gone. All I can make out are Icarus, maybe, and to the highest.
Icarus. Wasn't he the Greek guy?
Yeah, his dad made him some wings out of feathers and wax. Then the boy flew too close to the sun. And psst, no more wings, no more Icarus. If anyone's heard anything, then you know who it'll be, Faith.
Yeah?
I know he ain't a runner anymore, but he's got contacts. You can't avoid him forever.
Wanna bet?
Who?
Jackknife.
Drake's got a location on Jackknife. He's on some rooftops at the old runner training ground near the storm drains. Route's crawling with blues, though.
City authorities are
You can follow the canal to the Hampton Town District. Get going.
Anyway, if you find yourself super drawn to and inundated with this story, then you may not want to watch episode after this one, because I'm going to go do some time trials and stuff first before I actually move on to the later levels. But I promise you, this is not me trying to be mean or spoil anything. This is just me giving my honest review and criticism of this game. The story of this game isn't really anything all that special, so if you are interested, then, you know, look up a full playthrough or check the game out for yourself, because, again, I'm sure it's pretty cheap now, and I haven't checked an exact price tag on it. But it's fun. I would definitely recommend it if you're really interested in the story and you're like, you know what, I'd prefer to play the rest of this for myself. But anyway, so we're also going to look at a couple of the time trials in the game, and then play a couple of the later levels in the campaign on future episodes of this little quick research ramble.